representing the Haex programme, which is one of the sponsors of the Touch Rugby World Cup. Haex is a collaboration of a number of universities based in the Midlands, including the University of Nottingham. One of Haex's main aims is to support industry to innovate, developing new products and services in the hydrogen economy. We decided to sponsor the Touch Rugby World Cup, particularly in relation to energy use, so that Geopura, a locally based business, can provide hydrogen to be utilised at the event, making the event more sustainable and improving air quality for visitors and competitors alike. We hope this support will encourage others to look for more sustainable ways to run similar events in the future. Finally, just to say, we hope everyone that's involved in the event has a great time.
Welcome back to the Touch World Cup here in Nottingham. We have a mixed open game. South Africa taking on Scotland. Adam Collins in commentary, joined by Mel Day. Looking forward to this one, Mel?
Yeah, really looking forward to this one. I think South Africa have just brought class teams all across every single division, and Scotland, they have just unfortunately let in a try there.
Yeah, just a good early start there for the South Africans. We don't have a team sheet at the moment, so we'll get that happening for you shortly and just let you know who it was that scored the try. But it was a nice individual effort there. See on the replay, just enough, the little show and go, and enough to dive over the line.
And from memory, I think South Africa came 12th or something at the last World Cup, so it was a disappointing result for them. So they're going to be looking to improve. Meanwhile, Scotland, who are attacking the line at the moment and have just scored, great right of reply from Scotland. They won the very first Opens medal for a European team at the last World Cup in Malaysia with a bronze, but they're showing a very different team that played there. You don't see the likes of Mikey Short, who's one of the stalwarts of the Scotland team.
Yeah, the South African team also rebuilding. They're a very young team they've brought to Nottingham. So it'll be interesting to see just how even these two teams are matched. A ball exchange here. Obviously one not to the liking of the opponent. So we're back underway now with South Africa. Bit of a delayed roll ball there. Now working through the middle, as is often the case in the mixed opens game. Conditions here very slippy. We've had a lot of rain overnight, and being a local, well, how are the fields going to hold up? What impact are the conditions going to have on these matches?
Obviously in ball handling, even in the last game, quite a few handling errors from the Australians as well, so we can see the impact of the rain. So players are just going to have to be a little bit more sympathetic with their passing, a little bit more composed with their roll balls. But people at home will see we're on pitch 2, which is held up really, really, really well after the overnight rain, as Scotland tug at the line here, but great defence.
That was a really great drive there by the Scotland team. They worked down that right-hand edge and then brought the ball back into the middle. And as you said, called it, the defence was on song. Now South Africa work hard off their line. A bit of fancy footwork there. Up over the halfway now. Couple of touches remaining. Here it is, final touch. What can they do here? There's the try scorer from earlier. Ball moves out to the left hand. The link takes it on a juggle and nothing doing. So a good set for Scotland in defence there. Turning it over well out from their line.
But number 3 from South Africa looks rapid, doesn't he?
He's certainly a live wire. We'll keep an eye on him. And again, be able to bring you his name once we get those team sheets.
We're down on the sidelines reffing today, which is actually a great atmosphere down here. We're directly behind the South African box. You can see they're very calm. They look very confident.
Another penalty. So a full set here and a great attacking opportunity for the South African team. Here's our man. Ball in hand. Quick dump. Back on the left-hand side. Defence there from the Scotland middle. Trying to pull the defence up off the line. No touch.
Voluntary roll ball there. Scotland were quite lucky not to get a penalty there for not advancing and not getting involved in that touch.
It is one of those very technical things, isn't it? That pulling out.
I think he stayed up just high enough, just late enough to get that voluntary roll ball, but that's fifth touch.
Yeah,
no
good
strike
roll
dump.
on. But again, they were claiming a penalty there for a hard touch, but referees didn't want a bar of it. Nice diving touch in the corner. Oh, the referees have called it all good. You'll see this one in replay. They're right in the far corner from where we're standing. Not being elevated, it's tough to see here. Let's have a look at it. A nice call. She missed as she dove.
It's always tough when you make that diving touch as a winger
With
and you get them
slow
on the
motion.
legs.
Great coverage here from Next Gen. Bringing you all the vision.
I think the refs got that one right. I think there was ball down there.
So 2-1. Scotland leading South Africa. You said being here in the sub box for the South Africans, the coach just telling everybody to breathe, just relax, stick to the process. This Scotland team, he said they've been quite successful and certainly bring the game to the touch box. Oh, intercept taken. Will he go the length?
He's got plenty of support players.
There's absolutely nobody chasing. It's an odd sight to see where there are no defensive players chasing the intercept.
He had all the time in the world there. The three closest players to him were all on his own team.
That's what you want to see when you're going the length. You want to look around and have support. See it here in replay. He takes it out of the air beautifully. There was a collision with two of the Scotland players coming through, so that took out a couple of defenders. And now it's all back to Scotland. So here we are. Scotland on the attack. 7 metres out, strike dump. Steps back inside. But the defenders come well together and shut it down. And now they have to bring it right off their scoreline. Make their way up the middle of the field.
Looking at a couple of touches in the middle, and here they come towards their sub box now. Getting some spins, some yards. I just got to watch the marks there, but referees have picked that up.
Yeah, it is. Again, in these conditions, that's some pretty tough work to make sure you're maintaining, you're being square, maintaining the mark, not slipping or running through and creating collisions. But here they are. A little bit of confusion there from the Scotland lineup.
We can see Ross Taylor on the field, the number 7. He's been a part of the Scottish touch setup for a very, very long time. He's got well over 80 caps on him. Just such a consistent player, been involved in mixed, previously been involved in the men's open side.
Again, we can see a little bit of confusion. Too many bodies around the ruck for the touch box. And that's a big touch in back play. Pace outside here if they've got the legs. Good shutdown defence coming across in cover from Scotland. Yeah, the call from the bench here, strike dump, but it didn't quite come off the way they wanted it.
Scotland very nearly losing the ball on the first touch, but great hands initially.
That's the commentator's curse. We've talked about that earlier yesterday. We had a little bit of a joke about the commentator's curse, but it is a real thing.
Yeah, and quite a few drop balls in the first couple of games. But we're expecting the rain to let off now and for a fine afternoon.
Just there's a lot of confusion from both teams around the ruck. I think, when players are coming off, the coaches really need to instill the importance. We saw a roll ball there where it was complete isolation. Ball was on the ground for about 5 seconds. And they were lucky that the Scotland defence didn't come forward. So we'll see how the teams adapt to that.
Oh, he's got him on the outside here. Lovely score by Scotland. Lovely scoop through. Little goosey to avoid that touch and quick pass off.
Rory Grant it was that got through the line. And then Jamie Carruth is the try scorer. But it really was Rory Grant who created that space with some blistering speed to get in behind the touch box defence. And now we're back underway here with South Africa. Kyle Thompson is our number 3. He's out there. He's been dangerous. So, heads up play there by the South Africans. They have the penalty advantage. Just let the ball go so that the advantage goes their way now for a tap. Dejan Davis in the middle, working with Thompson. Easy gets the ball down. Thompson out of half. Oh. Steps to the left, pops a little ball up to the right. And that was beautifully worked there by the South Africans. There's Thompson.
And you can see Grace Burton, the Scotland link, coming in for this touch now, but ball was just down.
Kevin Smith it was that got the ball down. It was great shutdown defence. It was millimetres in it, but a beautifully worked play there by the touch box.
Great finishing to get that ball down.
We're all tied up at 3 each.
Oh, lovely long ball. Lovely put down.
Yeah, the finish was on the mark. Big smiles. Big smiles from the try scorer. Let's have a look at it here. The sweeper play goes around. They look back the opposite way. The cutout ball over the top. Beautifully done. Execution was on the money.
Lucy Preston, those balls are really, really hard to catch on days like today, and she looked very, very safe under that.
So 4-3 now in favour of Scotland. South Africa back on the attack. They make their way through that middle third. Moving the ball around, hoping to find a break in the defensive line. No touch called once again. That's the second of those against the touch box, so they'll need to consolidate that as well. You don't want to turn over possession cheaply when you're in a good attacking opportunity.
No, especially when they're converting so well from that part of the field as well, but they've just gotten the ball back on halfway.
Now through the middle they go again. Baron Vorser it is with the ball now. Go on a step, but he was well off the mark. Well off the mark. And now Scotland turn defence into attack. They look to get to their sub-box as quickly as possible. And another error, not square. So these conditions we talked about earlier certainly coming into play here for both teams.
Sometimes the best thing in these conditions is just to wind it back a little bit and go into these rucks at kind of 70 to 80% and just control that roll ball a lot more.
Saw a big push there, but the referee said play on. And must have been thinking the conditions played a role in that one. Skip pass out to the left. Ball goes to ground. It's certainly for South Africa, Kyle Thompson trying to stamp his authority on the game. But it is Scotland with the 1-try lead at the moment. There's a penalty for a hard touch. It's a lottery.
I mean, now the referees have got their eyes on the touches. I think both teams just need to be a little bit more controlled in their touches. I think South Africa have been unlucky on a couple of calls, but...
Yep. And just there, another collision. Referee judges to be okay. So now South Africa defending their line. Scotland sweeper play. Keep it in the middle. It's good footwork, but the defence was up to the task there. Shuts down the Scotland attack. And now they try to get their way upfield. Little ball back inside. Nice return pass. He's in motion. Good defence here from Scotland, putting pressure on. They're very aggressive in this defensive line. They force an error. So now they have the opportunity back on the touch box line. Not a lot doing out there. No real pace in the game at the moment, but that's what this is all about, this line attack. It's like a game of chess.
You can see Rory Grant, the number one guiding play there. Long ball out to the wing. Lovely finish.
Yeah, the winger was dragged right in. Didn't need to go in that far for mine. But that was beautiful play, as you said, in the middle. The change of pace is so important. That beautiful long ball over the top. Thirsty Venter.
Their wingers are on fire, Scotland, and Rory Grant, when he's out there, the number one for Scotland, he looks very, very sharp. I also like this number 5 from Scotland defending at the moment, Hannah Clefane. She's played a load of sports. I think she's been involved in the Rugby Sevens program as well as curling.
Curling?
Which might actually come in handy today in the conditions.
Yeah, the conditions. Be able to read the speed of the pitch. As we see 6 more here for the touch box, 7 metres out from the Scotland line. Trailing by 2, but it is a very evenly matched game at this stage. But there we see another roll ball indiscretion. Another cheap giveaway of possession, which is not what you want.
No, and they've given that away very early in the touch count when they've been within very close metres of the Scotland line, but they've just gotten the ball back again, forward pass.
Both players and referees are going to be fatigued from the amount of direction changes they're being forced to make, getting back on side at these changes of possession.
Yeah, they're very sharp with their subbing, South Africa. Very intense with their subbing, but ball down again here. Just
a simple error too. It was a pass that shouldn't have been dropped. I think that's the key here for the touch box. They just need to regain a little bit of composure. As now Scotland roll on again. Good speed. There's your man.
Rory
You talked about him earlier. Rory Grant. You'll see, let's have a look at this replay here. It was beautiful to watch. He tucked himself into a great position. See him come into screen now. You can tell him exactly where he wants, and then that little pop pass, perfect. And then the acceleration. You can get the ball to ground immediately as he slid along. Lucky he didn't go over the dead ball line, but he knew exactly where he was. And young Rory scores.
Always like a bit of showboating out in the field, but yeah, great assist by his inside player there.
Another penalty against South Africa as they were attacking the line.
Forward passes from both teams here.
There's another error. It really is a game that hasn't reached any great momentum as such because of these constant changes. But Scotland well in control at 6-3. But I wouldn't be panicking yet as we have 3.5 minutes left in the first half. If I was a South African. There's a nice dive under the touch.
Ooh.
The long levers there. As he saw exactly where he was on the field and just enough width between the defenders for Bryn Ems. It is. There's Bryn, gets it off the ground, has a look at that opening. Well down underneath the touch. Referee was right on the spot. Young Bryn gets a point to his name.
Yeah, and Jabulani Zuma, he was right there at the half, fed him straight away. The speed of that pickup from half really contributed to that score there.
The importance of those passes can't be understated. The seconds from the ball transferring directly from the ground, so important. As we see a great touch there. Referee's going to consult. On-field referee blows the penalty for pulling out. So the indiscretion occurred before the touch was made. Onside player made the touch. So now, full set of 6 here for Scotland. 7 metres out. There's Rory again. Another try. Rory Grant just heads up touch football here, you can see. He isolated the man he wanted. There's the phase where he sees it. The opening is there for him. And yes, the ball was down before the touch was affected.
Yeah, they're 3 ahead here, Scotland, but I don't think there is anything between these teams. The only difference between these teams is that when Scotland are making it up to the South African try line, they're not losing control of the ball. They're usually either working out their 6 or scoring. They have a very low error rate once they get up to the South Africa try line.
Here they have the final opportunity in this set.
Lovely
Thompson
scoop
goes
through.
over again, finds support. So I think he is a key for the touch box, Kyle Thompson. See who it is on the end of that one. There's Thompson. Sajan Davis
Lovely little show and go.
working with him. And Sajan that scored. 7-5 now, Scotland over the touch box of South Africa. Beautiful touch.
What a touch.
Jabulani Zuma. Beautiful touch coming across in cover. Had to be made. He was the last man in the line that could have stopped that try. And able to do so. Falls over there. That beautiful long ball out to the left. The winger takes it beautifully.
First event, they've called
Forward
it forward,
pass call.
unfortunately.
Interesting. All seemed to be coming out of their hands backwards.
Yeah, it looks quite nice from where we are on the sideline, but referees are in the ideal spot, lined up with the pass.
The earlier try scored by Kevin Smith for South Africa as we see another changeover here. Got one. Just a no-look pass there, and there was nobody to take it.
Very early in the touch count as well. It's so frustrating for a coach on the
Killer.
sidelines to see something like that. But
There's the halftime sign in the background. And halftime called. So the scoreline 7-5. Scotland leading the touch box of South Africa. So how have you seen that half? It has been a game that hasn't reached any great heights. Lots of penalties, lots of turnovers. But what would you be saying if you're the South African coach in this one?
I would just say control the ball in their attacking half. They're making it up the field okay, and they can really convert once they get up to their 7 metres. But it's just those little errors that are really punishing them. But everywhere else in the field, they are the equal, if not better than this Scotland team. And their energy subbing on is so positive and so electric. I'm really looking forward to the second half.
And we'll bring all of the action of the second half here from Nottingham, this mixed open game. Scott.
Please also do not keep warming up in the seven box area to the try line. Obviously these pitches need to last us for 7 days, and there's a little bit of rain. We're going to have a bit of they're taking a bit of beatings already. We have bins as well for all of the rubbish that may have. If you are going out of shop boxes, please take rubbish kits and stuff with you. We can keep the site nice and clean.
I love Nottingham, the home of Robin Hood. From the bright lights of Goose Fair to the peaceful nature of the Sherwood Forest woods. There's a feeling of togetherness, unity, pure, honest, love. And that feels great like a bright summer's day at the horses down by the lake at Colic. All I love Nottingham. The River Trent, the embankment, the Nottingham Carnival, different cultures dancing. The diversity, just walking down Columbus Street on a Saturday. The two lions in the square stand tall with pride. And when the markets in town come alive, it gives me life. Listen, as the council house clock chimes, and depending on how many times, lets you know the time. I've been to concerts at the Motorpoint Arena, and I've been to concerts at the Nottingham Caves. I've been here all my life and I'm still amazed by this place. I love Nottingham. Sometimes I stare at Hoxley's graffiti colourful walls.
University of Nottingham Sports, to the two venues over at Hockey, the Nottingham venues. Thank you for hosting the World Cup 2024. Players and officials, as your 1 minute warning. Players and officials, 1 minute warning. We also have Nottingham Hockey Centre, who's providing an area for the team's village and the food and parking. And partners associated this year.
Welcome back to Nottingham for this second half of the Mixed Opens game between Scotland and South Africa. It is Scotland currently leading 7 tries to 5. We've been tucked away here behind the bench for the South African team, Mel, and you'd have to say they're nice and relaxed.
Yeah, both teams look pretty relaxed. It's going to be a Scotland tap-off, leading by 2. They got their key players on the field, namely one, Jamie Grant, the number 1. He's been outstanding in the first half.
Definitely been the danger man for Scotland. But coaches here in the South African box have been just, engaging with individuals, but the address at half-time was very measured and, as we said, relaxed. So let's see what effect that has on the teams as Scotland go well on the attack here. Good momentum back on the inside. Defence is right up to the task that time, but that was a beautiful start there for the Scottish team. So here Grant pointing, wanting the man to come up off the line. There's the dive and pass at the same time, but unfortunately for the Scots, that ball goes to ground, and it'll be South Africa who shut it down early on, now roll off their own scoreline.
Yeah, great defence by South Africa there, but unfortunately an over the mark called by the referee.
It's just clinical. Those sorts of things can break the back of a team.
Oh.
Possession so hard to come by, and we saw they've turned it. No.
They are very
Penalty.
lucky there. It looked like there was a drop ball from Link. Link hit an exceptional hole there, but I think she just lost control on the way down, unfortunately. But South Africa have got a second chance. But
and lose it with an error coming out of their own half. These are the things that they really need to try and tighten up if they can, and do it quickly. Scotland here, regroup, new feet on the field. Slippery conditions.
See quite a few people losing their footing, so you just got to be a bit careful. Nice safe roll the ball there by Scotland, and dive in. Ball is down. Number 11 from Scotland, Callum Smith.
Callum Smith it was. We saw Jabulani come across to try and get that cover in defence, but not able to do so in time. Scotland extend the lead, now out by 3. Sorry, it was Phoenix Twala, the diving player that came across. There is at half, Twala. The ball off to Bryn Ems. The long levers of Bryn Ems. He's certainly an imposing figure out there, a tall, lean character. Scored a try earlier, getting the ball down to the ground, quickly sliding over. There he is looking into half.
Great defence here by Scotland. You can see them shooting up, really committing to that touch.
There's Ems. Long ball out to the left this time.
And she's unfortunately just put a foot in touch.
Millimetres in that one. Not able to stay in the field of play. And now Scotland push the ball up off their line. Moving it wide early. A bit risky in these conditions, but they've done it beautifully. Now the more direct drive up the field. That's good meters in behind the line. 2 defenders caught out of shape there. Well, you could hear the inside call coming through the effects, Mike. Not able to get the ball away. There's your man with a flick pass to nobody.
You got to throw a speculator sometimes on fifth.
It's very much the showman there from Rory Grant. Up in the air, little flick pass out the back. Nobody home. So now the touch box. Slow progress out of this interchange. And unfortunately for them, it's going to be a long way back if that's how they're going to play the game. That's good moves. Back on the inside, Shape there if he can get the ball away. An intercept taken. Can he go the length now? South Africa chasing. Baron Vorster it is, the sole defender on the chase. But he is away, and that's all she wrote for another try there for Scotland. Let's have a look at it here on the replay. See it now. They roll into the line. This is where I thought it was going to go their way, and then Grant gets in the way. And the chase was on, but Rory Grant was able to go the full length. Big smile on the dial there for Rory.
I've got a massive smile because as well as scoring a try, I think he saved a try by intercepting that. I don't think there was anyone in front of that South African player that was meant for.
That was classic turning defence into attack. As you said, it was a full shift. Now it is South Africa trailing by 4. A lot of work ahead of them. We heard the plaintive cry from the bench about the rain, but both teams need to play in those conditions.
Plenty of time on the clock, 15 minutes to go. Plenty of time for South Africa to turn this around. And once again, it's just those little errors in the roll ball they just need to control.
We talked about how relaxed they were at halftime and the composure, but sometimes you need to turn that into urgency. You can still do it under control, but you'd need to be a little bit more urgent. And you see that sinking pass there just not able to be taken by young Emily Brown. Now it is South Africa again. Confusion around the ruck. Bodies in motion but clashing. They look to go wide. Inix Twala been very busy. Is Jabulani.
Going to be fourth touch, so fifth coming. They need to set up a strike dump here.
Green Ems. These two guys together are dangerous. See what Ems can do. That was a bad pass. The wasted pass on the final touch. Nothing really doing, but he'd want to have that one again if he could. Scotland push up. Moving the ball again wide early, trying to get those fresh legs onto the field. Is the direct motion up the field now. That's good drive. Great meters for Scotland. Really putting South Africa on the back foot here. Final touch. Move the ball. Unfortunately, a man losing his feet just as he was going through the hole. And South Africa survive that attacking raid from Scotland. Great meters from that young lady in the link position as she drove up the field then.
Yeah, just incredible driving by the female link on the Scotland side. But here comes South Africa. This is much better subset from South Africa. Getting the ball away, unfortunately, ball down there, but they've gotten a penalty for an offside.
It was Kieran Ann Reid in the number 5 that really set that up. There was a couple of roll balls where they were going nowhere, and then Kieran Ann Reid took them forward, and on the back of that, a penalty 2 touches later. Now, this is the best opportunity South Africa had for a little while. They need to maintain possession here. They haven't completed a set of 6, I don't think, for the last, 5 or 6 opportunities. And Vorster was trying to dive over. Ivan du Plessis in the middle. There he is with the ball in hand. Du Plessis. Slipper goes around in the shape of Vorster. It runs into plenty of defensive traffic. Shut down, and that is the end of the set. At least they completed the set there, which is important. And they looked a little bit more structured, a little bit better in attack.
Yeah, they did. You could just see them setting up a couple of plays and sometimes just getting through and finishing that set of 6 that's what you need for that next attack to be effective. But the Scotland defence looked very strong as well there. And here we see Clefane, great drive through the middle of the field.
Clefane there really turned the afterburners on. He took the ball, came onto the field, took the ball and just drove it hard. Good pace. We see Vorster again, gets the ball out to the wing. This is where they've fallen down a little bit. Again, half not knowing where the player is, actually turned himself around a full 360. And in the confusion, penalty given. And the importance of completing sets is really coming to the fore here for the touch box.
You've got to make Scotland work for this field position, and at the moment Scotland are getting the ball more often than not in the South African half.
Another penalty. They'll let off there for the touch box. You get it out to the mark to take the tap. Thompson touched in the middle of the field. There he is again, taking the ball forward. Agent Davis. Just the ball getting away there from the South Africans.
Yeah, we can hear them in the box now. We can hear a couple of players just saying, slow it down, slow it down. And I think that's what they need to do. Just do things at 80%. Run at depth, run at speed. But when you come into that roll ball, just be very, very controlled. If you need a two-handed dump, take the two-handed dump.
Yeah. That is it. Yeah, where's the fun? Where's the fun we can hear from the bench? Phoenix Twala it is. Certainly a personality in the team. Urging his teammates to come back with the fun.
Yep, great defence there by South Africa. Kevin Smith, the number 6. But they're going to be tested here with 6 touches on the line.
Strike players out there as well. Nice shutdown, but the numbers are there. If they can get the ball out to the left, they do. They spread it wide early, but a penalty. Penalty to the South Africans for a forward pass. Thompson falling to the ground, gets the ball away. Good meters now in behind the defensive line. So advantage here, but then the roll ball just couldn't get the handle. A little bit of a stumble from the player rolling the ball, affected by the harshness of the touch. And then the ball coming out of the hands of the acting half. So it is Scotland again with another opportunity. And this incompletion of sets is crucial here for South Africa. Long ball out to the right-hand side this time. And a beautiful completion. Great end to that set.
Amelie Brown on the wing there for Scotland. Great finish.
It was a beautiful pass, but the finish was a highlight. Let's see it. Steps out to the left, the long left to right pass from Ewan McKinnon. As you said, that young lady got the ball down beautifully. There's Twala now on the attack.
You know what, a lovely ball out as well. In these conditions, it wasn't a bullet. It was just exactly what it needed to be. Perfect weight, everything like that.
Gavilani Zuma in the middle. Not rolled between the legs is the call from the referee there. Again, another way to hand over possession. Scotland rolling out. They really love that subset play where they go to the bench no matter what. Offside player there up through the middle. Good meters from Callum Anderson. Long ball out to the left this time. They can go both ways. And that finds young Kirsty Venter in the corner for another try for the Scots.
She's got a couple to her name today, Kirsty. Very good on that left-hand side wing. And you can see that all came about from just a great driving set. Very composed in their roll balls. And they finished their set of 6, and that's what's giving it to them at the moment.
They're controlling it much better. They're sticking to their game plans. They're making errors, but they're coming back from it much better. 11-5 now. The game is getting away from the touch box. They really need to step up here. 8 minutes to remain in the game. Gets down low. Josh Boucher. Ivan Duplessis with the ball. Back inside the Vorster. And just, again, And a cheap turnover. No real pressure there either.
No, it didn't look like the Scotland defence was being tested very much at all. And you can see Hannah Clefane, another good roll ball, making very easy metres here, kind of 6-7 metres each drive, easily another 10 metres through the middle of the field.
Callum Anderson into the action as well. He's a big boy, Callum Anderson. In the middle, formidable opponent here. Anderson calling for the ball, but they go back to the left. And South Africa shut it down.
A great defence between the link and the mid there. Definitely saved a couple of tries those last 2 touches.
So a game of very much 2 different strategies now, I believe. South Africa have to lift the intensity and the urgency. The Scots can afford to relax just a little bit. 6 tries the difference now. Good wheels there from Kevin Smith it is. Found plenty of space. He had to create it himself. But the cover defence of Scotland was right on song. Here's Thompson. Always dangerous, but that time shut down there by that man we were talking about earlier. Callum Anderson, the big, very imposing figure in the middle of the field for the Scots.
I feel like they had a few more touches. Obviously, he was half, but great attacking play.
Now this is better. They need to step up in defence too, become a little bit more urgent, a little bit more aggressive. They send one up. There's the channel in behind, but a forward pass called. But that one-up defender creates space in behind if the angles are correct. Scotland, they did the right thing, but unfortunately, that forward pass. Now Thompson takes it forward for the touch box. On the halfway line, 4 touches remain. That's good metres, but no half. Isolated. Yeah, he went for the 6 again play there, but the referee says no, you threw it directly into him. He wasn't making a play at the ball. And it's turned over on the halfway line. Scotland straight back into the attack. The little juggle there as she rolled the ball. And that's a turnover for South Africa. They need to shift it if they can early. Debolani Zuma takes it up through the middle. It's Phoenix Twala with an uncharacteristic error. Not happy with himself at all. Now Scotland roll back up. There's Clefane. They get to the sub box. Now the fresh legs come on. An eye on who it is coming into the attack. Ewan McKinnon.
Oh, lovely yards right through the middle.
The Grant there with the ball, gets it down beautifully. There's big Callum Anderson. You can't stop him when he went down low, straight over the line. It was beautifully executed.
See what, he's a tall bloke, but he gets down low on those dives, doesn't he?
He just beat Phoenix Twala there. Phoenix just didn't know where he was. He looked up and said, what position am I in here? So just looking at the footage there suggests to me that there wasn't a lot of communication in that defensive structure.
No. I think he was looking back for his inside defender who wasn't behind him. South Africa throwing it long now. Great defence. Hannah Clefane coming up high out of the line, making that touch.
There's Vorster with the ball back on the inside. Josh Boucher it is that gets the try, but it was beautifully executed by Vorster. Divan Duplessis was involved as well. So a nicely executed try there for the South Africans. They need to just have a couple more of those. 12-6 now the scoreline. 2.5 minutes remain. It is Scotland again on the attack. Breaks short, goes with a long bomb over the top, and another beautifully executed try for the Scots.
Yeah, Emily Brenn, that's her second for the half.
See it here. Just much more direct the play from the Scots. And it is McKinnon again with that beautiful left to right pass. He skipped out, looked to go to the left, and then just dropped it beautifully in the hands of the try scorer. 13 tries to 6. They certainly haven't stopped trying, the South Africans. They're taking the game to the Scots, but the Scots have just controlled it beautifully in attack and defence, which has been the real key.
Yeah, it's really been the skill level, especially with the conditions. It's been the difference between these two teams. But the energy from the South Africans has been really consistently high throughout this half, maybe a little bit too high at times.
And as you said, you know, sometimes you just need to pull back a little bit on that intensity and control the game.
Oh, lovely, lovely hole.
Perfectly executed. It was done at pace, but it was a regulated pace. They knew exactly what their role was in this play, and it's Phoenix Twyla that's on the end of it. But Bryn Ems has been dangerous, and that's just a little slip pass, and Twyla gets a reward for his effort. He's been a live wire out there for the touch box.
Yeah, he really has. They've just left the Scotland winger all on her own out there. That was a lovely little set of play, and you could see each of those passes were just like lovely, lovely measured passes. Great execution by South Africa.
Here's Du Plessis in the middle now with the ball. They go forward. Boucher, the try scorer from earlier on.
They'd love one more to finish this game.
Du Plessis. Boucher holds it back, and it was a good thing he did. There were plenty of numbers there to cover. Boucher again, Du Plessis. Run around play. Hole hit by Vossa, but a good shutdown coming in the shape of, is it Hannah Clefane?
Yeah, she's been outstanding this game in defence. She's not afraid to get up high and really shut down these plays before the players can get the pass away. Oh, great driving here by Scotland as well. And you can see the winger just like taking the touch, taking a couple of steps back, not getting those over the marks.
Probably not the best finish to it, but that is certainly part of the game they've controlled. That direct momentum they've created. As we see through the middle this time, a diving touch from Du Plessis takes out McKinnon, I believe it was. And that is all she wrote here in this mixed opens game. Scotland decisive winners over South Africa, 13 tries to 7. And that's a good start for the Scots.
Scotland looked very, very, very good out there. They're showing a bit of a different team. They've got quite a few debutantes in their team. I think 3 or 4 debutantes at this World Cup. But I thought they looked strong across the park. Their skill level in the conditions was exceptional. Some great attacking play. Rory Grant, exceptional player. And Hannah Clefane, that female link that they've got in defence especially, was just outstanding. Yeah,
she was powerful in both attack and defence, as you said, and that can be crucial in the mixed game to have that powerful presence in the link position. We talked about South Africa rebuilding. They're a very young team, so I think they'll take some experience out of that. But I'd have to say the conditions as well, probably more Scotland conditions than South African conditions, may have played into their hands a little bit.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. This was kind of bread and butter for Scotland, but I think South Africa have a lot to take out of that game. Picks up those basic errors, maintain possession for that set of 6, because when they come within that 7 metres, they've got some real attacking weapons in their team. Jabalami Zuma, he was outstanding. Cole Thompson was very strong. Yeah, some excellent, excellent players. So they'll be hoping to come back from this, I'm sure.
Well, kudos to the Scots. They take that.
I love Nottingham, the home of Robin Hood. From the bright lights of Goose Fair to the peaceful nature of the Sherwood Forest woods. There's a feeling of togetherness, unity, pure, honest, love. And that feels great like a bright summer's day at the horses down by the lake at Colic. All I love Nottingham. The River Trent, the embankment, the Nottingham Carnival, different cultures dancing. The diversity, just walking down Columbus Street on a Saturday. The two lions in the square stand tall with pride. And when the markets in town come alive, it gives me life. Listen, as the council house clock chimes, and depending on how many times, lets you know the time. I've been to concerts at the Motorpoint Arena, and I've been to concerts at the Nottingham Caves. I've been here all my life and I'm still amazed by this place. I love Nottingham. Sometimes I stare at Hoxley's graffiti colourful walls, and sometimes I gaze at the deers running round Woollerton Hall. Supreme thrills, from chilling up at Green's Mill or up at that castle on the hill. Nottingham, I love you, and I always will. Visit Nottingham today.
Nola, and I'm representing the Haex programme, which is one of the sponsors of the Touch Rugby World Cup. Haex is a collaboration of a number of universities based in